My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Welcome, everyone. I have a very special guest with me today. Please welcome Sylvia Puentes to the show. I'm so grateful you're here.
And I'm so happy to be here, Cassy. You have just this radiant joy of you. So no matter what my morning's been like, I'm happy now. Yeah. Not that my morning's been bad. It's just been chillax, very relaxing.
I love that. Maybe we'll have a relaxing podcast. We'll see how this goes. So you are a 3D body facilitator among many other specialties that you play with. So we'll see, what pops up. But I was really curious to explore bodies with you today, the gift of bodies. And I was hoping we could start with a bit of your journey with your body. Like, how's it been?
Well, it's so interesting. Like the gift of bodies. I don't know that I would say I may be only like a fraction of a little space of acknowledging the gift of my body. And yet, when I look up growing up, body was never acknowledged. If, growing up in a Catholic home, 5 girls, no boys. So it was always about hiding yourself. Even the way we walked, I noticed some sisters have it more than others where you're kind of hunched over, especially the one that does it the most has the biggest breast. So there was always this wrongness or this hiding of our bodies. And then, I started to notice even the way I would sit or I would walk. I'm just talking about like, posture, but at the same time, it was this relationship with bodies that it was something not to show off. And somehow if you were standing tall, strutting your stuff, feeling good, that was something bad. So then, then you add the energy of our bodies, and my body is very flirtatious.
Yes.
I remember one time I got pulled over by a cop and I was telling Gary, the founder of Access Consciousness, for those that may not know, but I was telling him I was really good. Like I behaved. I saw you had a ring. I didn't flirt. And then until he asked me to get my driver's license and my purse was in the trunk. And I remember getting out, and it's so interesting to now perceive it. But my body all of a sudden did or was something. But I was like, oh, no, buddy, calm down. But again, noticing that wrongness. And I remember Gary's all like, you flirt standing up, like just standing there. And yet it's been made so wrong. So my journey with my body, like being a hedonist, loving yummy things, loving touching bodies, touching fabrics, all sorts of things, that was always made wrong. It was like, the luxury of having a body, enjoying a body was never something that, at least, growing up was something to admire, enjoy, and explore. So for me, coming across the tools of Access Consciousness was like, what? It's like all of a sudden it was like cracking open and exposing what was always there. And it was like the joy and the laughter and the orgasmic energy of living. It took a lot of people kind of by surprise going, what the hell has happened?
Wow.
So yes. Just, that journey alone, and then now adding 3-day body classes and even for myself, as I started to take body classes, it's like noticing the change, the ease, the relaxation that was always available, but I wasn't willing to go there because no one around me was going there before. And now the journey is, am I willing to go and explore my body, my capacities, embodiment, perhaps where no one has gone? And I'm saying that, and I know, again, it's like, it's just beginning with the question. And I wonder, and for me to now facilitate these classes and have people in the class with that curiosity, perhaps, or beginning to open up to receiving their bodies in a different way, that I know contributes to a different planet. It's like we're not separate. So I know that that's a bigger gift than maybe I'll ever know.
Wow.
Mhm.
There was so much brilliance in that. Thank you. I want to just say luxury of having a body. That feels like a telecall or something. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Because how many of us don't look at it? It's like this is a it's so luxurious to have a body. It's like it's such a burden, it's such a struggle, it's such a pain to have the
yeah,
body. Okay, so can you okay, this is great because you looked at now you I'm assuming your shift came with the access tools. You started to shift.
yes,
Yeah. And we
yes.
talk about access consciousness and the amazing tools on here all the time. We also use the clearing statement if that pops, but we don't
Sure.
have to. And so you started to shift that for yourself. And then you talked about this place of looking, am I willing to go if no one around me is going? What are some tools or explorations that you could share in that area?
Hmm. Well, ever adding tools, exploring different energies ongoingly. I would say a couple years ago, this whole topic of relaxation showed up. And I started to explore what that was for me. And I'm a go-go. I move fast, I travel a lot. And I acknowledged that I had ease with traveling. But this energy of relaxation, I didn't quite know what that was for me.
Mhm.
So often we think relaxations are let me take a nap, let me not do anything, let me disconnect. And maybe that's part of it. But for me, I just had a sense that there was something else available. It's almost, another specialty that I facilitate is right voice for you. So it's like when you're up on stage or you're speaking in front of a group, you get the sweaty pants and you might be trembling a bit, right? But this is also where your body's with you. And to notice, like when I can be up in front of a group and perceive all the different energies and still be there, still speak and still go,
Yeah.
that for me, I started to notice, oh, that's a level of relaxation. Like, where else do I have relaxation? So I would say, one of the first tools is like, what is your relationship with your body? Like, what are the thoughts that you just start to notice, but not with the judgment, but more like just the exploration, like where are you right now with your body? Um, so in that exploration of relaxation, several years ago, it wasn't until this year I was just at Costa Rica and I have this beautiful horse, Fantasia.
Yeah.
And, I've ridden her several times and, I rode her in September. I first arrived in September and we went on a ride and I was like, something's different. Wow. And I looked at her, we're riding. And I was like, you're so relaxed. Like you're so peaceful. And then I chuckled because then it was like, wait a moment. Oh, I'm relaxed. And there was a level of like relaxation and peace that I had not had riding before. Now, granted, Fantasia is an amazing horse, but if I'm not relaxed, she's going to pick up on that. So it really is the gift of riding and allowing yourself to receive from a horse what they're showing you of where you're functioning from. So that was it's been a new exploration. So then I thought, well, maybe that was just one day. And then I went again. I was like, oh, there it is. There was a new level of trust of being on a horse, but it was also the trust of my body that I would know what to do, that my body had a sense of being with the horse and the horse with me. And throughout multiple days of riding, the last day I galloped. And so, which is a joy, but it had never had the level of relaxation, and again, it's this level of trust. So why am I sharing that? It's like really at every moment, every day of our lives, our bodies are with us. So it's like, what is that engagement you're having with your body? When you wake up, what is that like? It's like today I stayed in bed a little longer, than usual. And it was like, it's okay. But how often do we judge ourselves, especially if you're a go-go person? It's like, oh, I should be up, I should be doing this. And it was like, it's okay. Like allowing that space that nurtures you, the being, but also the body. So that would be one. And another exercise that I just changed so much for me that I would invite all of us to ask. It's like, do you receive your body? Are you receiving your body right now? And when I was asked this question, so grateful for Shanna O'Hara, I was attending one of her classes. And when I used to hear about receiving with bodies, I thought, oh, of course I do. I'm receiving the sun. I'm receiving, it was everything external that my body was receiving. But when I was asked, you know, do you receive your body? I was like, what do you mean? And I literally turned my eyes to my body. I'm like, oh, this. It sounds crazy, but it was like, oh, like it's me with my body, me, the being with my body. Somehow it's just kind of been this, growing up and all sorts of different times where I've noticed I'm just dragging it along. So this kindness, this sweetness of saying, oh, hello, it's the same energy that was showing up with my horse, that tenderness of knowing that, oh, she has me on her back. She perceives everything in my world, right? And we can have a really easy time or we can have a really hard time, but it's up to us. Like I get to say, she's willing to contribute and show me stuff. That's the same thing with my body. So that sense of that new exploration, it's like, wow, what if my body has never been wrong? And it's only tried to show me what's up in my world
Wow.
or around me, because they're also super aware.
Yeah. That is so beautiful. And I love bringing the horses into it. And because they're such great facilitators with bodies and all the things. Can you talk a bit about so really acknowledging, here we are acknowledging that our bodies have consciousness, that our bodies communicate with us. And then going back to the little flirty conversation with the police officer, and you were like, my body's such a flirt. I love that. But and it can you speak a little bit more about that? Because some people I think would think I'm flirting and using my body, not that my
Mm.
body is its own flirt, and why would it do that and all those things. So can you talk a little bit about bodies and flirtation and those types of energies?
Yes. And actually, there's two stories that really stand out, but it's interesting you say that because I didn't end up getting a ticket,
I knew
right?
it.
And yet, and I have another story that I've shared recently about a negotiations I had over the phone where I perceived that same energy and I was on the phone. And so I guess my question is, how much do you allow your body to contribute to you? And 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 sometimes we think, oh, stamina or things like that. But I get that the bodies have a whole different capacity beyond what probably we can imagine or even put into words. So these two stories where you might call that, the only word I can come close to the bubbly energy that I perceive is flirtations,
Yeah.
flirtation. And so with the police officer, in that moment when I got up or to step out of my car, it was like, whoa. And I didn't say anything different. I just walked to the trunk, got my purse, came back. But in that moment, I'm probably acknowledging it more now. It was being something, right? So I didn't end up getting a ticket, even if the officers are like, don't let me catch you again. I might have to handcuff you. And oh, I stayed quiet, but I didn't say anything. But guess what? My body responded. And so there's, right? We're not always acknowledging we're perceiving other people's bodies as well, right? You perceive other people's when they come in and they're all angry. There's an energy there, right? Someone might look at you and there's an energy there. Well, what if that's actually you aware of the energy? And when your body's contributing, it's contributing an energy. The other story I have, I was negotiating over the phone and I had a budget that came in like at 28,000 was the proposal. And I was way over what I even imagined. So if I would have gone into it and talked about like asking, I would have been really happy at 12,000. Like getting it less than half would have been amazing for me. So I call up the gentleman and start to talk. In that process, I could feel my body. I was like, like if I would have been in person, I think I'm flirting. Like there's already that energy of the body, but this is over the phone. And so the gentleman, we kind of make some small talk and where I'm at and where he's at. And then the next voice caller, but the next thing is like, shut up. And
Mm.
so I stopped talking. And the gentleman kept lowering the price, lowering the price, lowering the price. Oh, well, this. And then it came to the total, and then he lowered it there. It was $6,000 after that.
Wow.
So it was in that moment I thought, oh my goodness, like how often do we fill up a space with all the talking and not allow our bodies to contribute? Like what capacities do our bodies have to invite and pull in what we're asking for, right? So that those energies that I call flirtations are very creative, and yet there's also another energy. I really enjoy bodies, and there was not too long ago, I was in Colombia and we went to this event and this mariachi guy was singing. And then he came up close and I knew as he came close, I went to go like slightly touch him. And then he came down to his knees and sang even closer to me. And there was that moment where I went to go touch his back as he was singing to me. And I knew my body was contributing something to his.
Mm.
What? I don't know. And then at the very end of the show, he sees me in the corner of his eye and he's like, oh my gosh. And he comes up and he's all, your energy. And then he played around like, oh, I just want more, like, played around with like trying to, as he hugged me, trying to scoop up as much energy. But it's like, okay, so what generative, I would say even creative, healing energies are our bodies that we haven't explored in that when we begin to touch bodies, there's such this gifting and receiving that occurs that it invites people to receive more or to notice where they're not receiving. And, I've seen tons of miracles of people changing things so quickly without a intellectual understanding of how that change showed up. So flirtation for me is that energy of gifting and receiving with no result in mind. And I think that's where we've misidentified when we say, oh, you're such a flirt. It's like, you're right, I am. And it doesn't mean I'm inviting you anywhere, but I like to perceive the molecules in the bodies waking up and changing and noticing that. That's fun for me.
So beautiful. Oh, I love it so much. And I'm really getting a sense of, as you're talking about all of that, that you were receiving your body, as you talked about, while this was going on, like in
Yes.
this energetic communication.
And that was different than any other time. I had never allowed myself to receive and notice, it's like what's going on in the moment. And if we have that, it's like it is this leverage to living and having a sense of what you can change in the moment or be aware of. It's like those moments, right, where I was at the airport one time and I was ready to step into this restaurant, do some work and eat. And I was like, whoa, my like body was like this crunchiness to it. And it was like, oh, I was like, all right. But it's like this dialogue now. It's like, good point. Let's go to the gate, find out what's there. You know, there was that sense that, I would miss my flight or something would occur. But
Mhm.
it's this ongoing communication with my body. It's like, okay, what are you letting me know here? You know, so, but and thank you for your questions because it's like the willingness to go, wow, there's something different I'm being with my body and what else is possible. Because I had no relationship with my body. I was one of those, might have been during sex, it might have been during intense, moments growing up. My father drank a lot where, things got intense. In those moments, I now know that I most likely left my body and let my body try to handle whatever it could because I was like, that's way too much.
Yeah.
So to be present with your body in a way, there may be intensity to it. So part of in the gift of these access consciousness tools is to have more ease with all of that. To actually know that your body's not wrong and it's gifting you awarenesses. It's like asking your body, wow, what can you contribute here? What are you telling me and what can you contribute? And so now it's like really like this buddy, even today, it's a little past 10 a.m. for me. And it's like, you think, oh, I haven't had coffee, or I haven't had any food. And it's like, my body's like, I'm fine. It's like, okay. But that's different rather than going to the automatic of, oh, it's breakfast. Oh, I should. And but that's also the willingness to be so different. You know, you sit down for breakfast with family, someone invites you for coffee. It's like, you know, how much do we consume or do things with our bodies without even asking the body what it would like?
Yes, that was definitely a big journey for me. I had read like this is the right way to eat, and this is like I was trying to do it really right, like very
Yes.
strongly.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
still I still find myself in those moments. Yep.
yeah. And the Access tools just gave me so much different perspective and questions to start asking to kind of uncover that, which I'm so grateful for.
Yeah.
Um, as we kind of and finish up here, I would love for you to talk a little bit about body processes, because some people maybe have never heard of it. And I would say for me personally, it was the body, it was receiving the body processes that allowed me to receive my body. Like I did a lot of the work here, but it was like those body processes kind of open up. And I know it can do so many different things for so many different people, but
Yeah.
I'd love for you to share kind of what you're aware of and yeah, what are
Yeah.
they? What can we tell people?
Well, it's interesting, you know, because I started with access bars, and you know, in a sense, you're also touched. It's, you know, body process. There's points on the heads that, and that was the beginning for me to acknowledge. Oh, when you do touch someone, it invites them to receive, right? So that's the first thing, because these classes, it is about touch. There's certain points. So there's massage tables, and someone's gifting, someone's receiving, and it's happening simultaneously as well. But there is the sense that when there's the touch and these certain points and what they activate and release, like you said, can be different for so many people. So, part of what I enjoy of the 3 day body class is that opening to invite you to begin to acknowledge that you are aware of bodies. It's
Mm,
beginning to ask yourself some questions that maybe you've never been asked, right? But to begin to go, wow, I get to ask the body what it would like to receive. It's not about asking the person, right? And I find it so fascinating because you sometimes hear, you know, there's a body process going on. Someone's like, oh my God, that's exactly what I had going on with my body, you
yeah.
know. But when they don't ask the person and you're beginning to strengthen that muscle to go, oh, what would the body like? And what does the body know? And what is it ready to change? Right. Um, so for me, you know, in this manual of 60 processes or so, some have been added, taken away. But in that, it's almost like everything that we have layered over or on top of, like the true essence of the body and what it's capable, starts to unravel. So these processes begin to unravel that and begin to expose what is the capacity and gift of your body. And one of the other elements that I really enjoy is that it allows it to be more like nature, like really that essence of true receiving in space, you know, with no judgment. And so, I mean, that is what it is for me. I mean, there's different ones. Like there's a body process for, you know, vision or the energetic facelift. And yes, they have titles where it might open you, oh yeah, something with my eyes. Well, could be, maybe not, maybe something else. So there's not a whole lot of description so we don't limit what we can receive from them. Right. And it's so beautiful to see what unravels for people. Like the facelift is a beautiful, beautiful energy. I saw you all get all
Yeah.
giddy because, yes, you know, as you unravel the layers of judgment and things that you have about your body, your face, and wrinkles, it's you're actually releasing so much more that allows that rejuvenation and that glow about you to show up even more. So, you know, for me, it's like the invitation really is, it's like, would you like something different with your body? Are you asking for something that you haven't found in something else? I mean, people, medicine, all sorts of stuff. It's like, but what do you know is available with these body processes without even knowing what they are? Because this is where we are being invited to changing things energetically with our bodies that I get will be more of what we require on planet Earth. Like it really will be. And to begin to allow yourself to get what gift your body is and what gift your body can be for others. and the planet ultimately. So in short, I would say that that's what they've been for me. That unraveling, clearing up the muck, and allowing you to have access more to you, the being, but the gift of your body to perhaps change things quicker than you can imagine and have way more ease with whatever's showing up. Because the thing is, things are going to show up, you know? I have some stuff going on with a tooth, and I've just been like, really curious, like, can we change this? Wow, what's required here? And then at times there's nothing there, and then it's like, okay, so there's just this ongoing, and there's incredible, beautiful body processes for that as well. So the gift of being in the question, the gift of receiving, the gift of allowing change to come quicker and faster than you can imagine, and having that relaxation of the luxury of being embodied. I say more of that, please.
I adore you so much. Thank you so much for all this. What a gift. I can't wait to join you in Regina, Saskatchewan in next month. I get to come to your 3D body class. So if anyone's curious, we're going to have a link in the description below. But if you can't make it to that class, please just check out Sylvia because she has classes all around the world. And maybe there's a class in your area that you can attend. Thank you again. This was such a gift.
You're so welcome. And I want to just add another caveat that I think people is that if you allow yourself to open up to receiving way more, then what you ask for can show up quicker and faster. And that includes money. So it's not separate. Just wanted to add that here at the end.
My body got all turned on. About that flirt.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing some of you in Regina, which I say we just say vagina. Let's just say it.
We should just say yeah.
Or any other part of the world. So thank you so much, Cassy.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?